Welcome, noble friends who are water. I'm Debar, spiritual coach, citizen journalist, and truth activist, and I'm inviting you along with me to become our own heroes. We'll be right back. Hit subscribe for notifications when new videos are posted. All right, so I haven't come very well prepared. I do have a small thing that I do want to share that I feel is pretty cool, and just, I guess a bit of an overview for anybody who's maybe new, that I have the intention of providing ideas and information and guidance through critical thinking, at least fine-tuning those skills, to consider our worldview expanding rather than contracting, and for our, spiritual inner genius to truly develop in the way that we need it to, in order for us to become our spiritual inner warrior and our own heroes. Because I'm not of the thinking that we should rely on waiting for some great hero to come down either from the clouds to save us, or even through political leaders that we might see coming up. And honestly, there's no one at this point in the media, as far as I can see, who are the leaders, organizations, politicians, that I personally can trust. I don't know about you. And that's why I think it's so essential for us in this time of great change, in this time of what is considered a great awakening, that we need to truly consider our inner self, our inner core self, our Cristl Logos, which is a combination of crystals and Christ consciousness, and our rational and emotional self, our head where the thinking goes on, our heart where the intuition and true decision making should go on and come from, and our emotional gut where all our emotions fire up and then send messages up and out to the brain about what kind of hormones and other chemicals that our body should emit at that point in time. And so I've had an idea by creating this channel, I would be able to provide some value in order for us to expand on all of those areas. This week, around my little video is like the black, because I guess I'm coming to all of this still trying to determine what the format should really look like. I mean, maybe it should just be me just talking about things, but sometimes we need visuals in order to truly understand, because we have that capacity to do that. But like I said, right now, I don't know, this whole week has been a lot of dreams, and it makes me toss and turn. I have tons of mosquito bites all over, and so it's scratching, and it's just I feel really good. It's been wonderful this time that I've gotten here. I've done some legitimate berry picking, which has been so much fun, except for the mosquitoes. And yeah, it's about getting back to the earth and getting back to being grounded in our mother, in Gaia. And last week, I believe I mentioned it, or it might have been the week before, that I'd heard from an astrologer, and I'll include her link. It's Lada, astrolada.com, that she talked about when Christ was crucified, that when he died, he didn't go away. His spirit, his consciousness became part of the earth. So we've always had him with us. We've just not been taught how to be connected. There has been an inversion of how we perceive things. We've thought of the love of power, the love of wisdom, rather than it being the wisdom of love inside of us, the power of love inside of us, the strength of love, the wisdom of love, the intelligence of love, the substance of love, the life of love, and the God of love, or the divine creator that is love. It's right here, and it's covered by our bones. But it's not even just so much about protection. The bones themselves, if you look it up and do some research, they are this crystalline structure. And then, of course, the water that we're 70% of helps with conduction of the electricity. So this week, like I said, it's still coming together how I want to make this channel, but ultimately what I'm hoping for is more of noble friends who are water to really envision and lock onto the idea that our future is Love Earth. It is a planet of divinity and sacred beingness, where we're stewards of ourselves, our loved ones, and of the earth. That, we're taking care of everything that matters, that is of the divine nature, of natural law. That, earth was always that until something happened and changed our direction and put us to sleep. And over a couple of decades ago, I had this kind of image that there was a person in a kayak, and they were being towed through time, through the universe, by a snail, by a great snail. But that I understood that at that point, when they would remember the dream, that they would awaken. And like I said, that was over 2 decades ago, and that was before I personally awoke. I had a crisis in my life, and it changed the way I began to perceive things. And my life took a journey, which in the Cree teachings is called Mizgazuin. But I found this online, and I shared it earlier in the radio show that I do weekly. That's broadcast out of CFRC 101.9 FM on Fridays at 11:30. Kind of hard to find on the CFRC website, but it is under the archives, and you do have to look for that specific time and day. But it's only broken down to on the hour. On the hour. Get a kick out of card matching mayhem with over 5,000. Oh my God. So this program that I'm using right now, that's going to hook up the camera that I'm using to my computer, I'm going to ditch. I got to find something else. This shit's crazy. So anyway, I can't remember where I was before that interruption. So we're just going to go to what I wanted to share for this week. And so it's called Lāhui Kānaka, and this is the definition. And now this is a PDF. I will include the link to this below the video. So it says, mana is from the womb to the tomb. It's a journey. Mana is the flowing of electrons, protons, and neutrons, and is eternity. It is forever. Is forever. We only use our portion of forever in that short space of time from the womb to the tomb. Mana is one. Sky Father, Earth Mother, is the positive, is the Sky Father, and the earth is the ground. And you have to have the two for the electrons, the protons, and neutrons flow. If you know, touch 'em, and we the switch. Us guys, the human, off and on the switch. But if the bugger no good, the connection no good between the positive and the ground. The mana in the person, the light, it blink 'cause no more good connection. Kānaka group, and that was the speaker, 74. And so that is like in the Cree teachings, this idea of Miskazwin, which is a journey where we are always returning back to ourselves and bringing with us what we've encountered and what we've learned and integrating that into our spirit self. But mana, in some ways, to me, is the thing that I've thought of as Cristl Logos. And so it's all the same thing, only different languages, right? So the Cristl Logos to me is this idea of crystals, which is that gift that Mother Earth gives us. And if, as we've learned, that the Christ consciousness is also part of that, but that we're also part of crystals, and that the Logos, that sort of logical spiritual self, because there is that, our intuition, which is an intelligence, that we get through our lives that much more enriched when we make the decisions that we all have to make practically every day, coming from our center, from our Cristl Logos. But I believe with mana, it's the idea of how our feet touch the ground, and so that there is that kind of exchange. And there's so much more to learn about that particular Hawaiian teaching, as well as what I haven't learned that about Miskazwin. And anyway, we'll leave it at that. This is getting a little bit longer than I guess it should be, because I don't necessarily have that much more to share, except see you all next week. I want everybody to just know there's love, love, love for each one of us, in spades, diamonds, hearts, clubs, the whole deck. And take care of yourselves. I'll be back next week, hopefully with something that's valuable to you. And just know that you're valuable, noble friend who is water. Take care. See y'all.